But let's talk about the cover of the latest edition of Charlie Hebdo. The picture of the Prophet Muhammad is holding a sign, Je suis Charlie, and above him, all is forgiven. I've been speaking to Jodie Ginsberg. She's from Index on Censorship, campaigning on behalf of freedom of expression. Also to Abdullah al Andalusi, who's a co-founder of the Muslim Debate Initiative, encouraging discussion on religious and political issues. I asked Abdullah first, is he offended by that cover?
I strongly disagree with portrayals of the Prophet Muhammad. I don't think it doesn't look like it's trying to be insulting, so I don't not particularly offended in that sense. But I strongly disagree with portrayals of the Prophet Muhammad. Yes.
Okay, we'll come back to that in a moment as well. But Jodie, what do you think about this cover?
I think it's entirely within the tradition of Charlie Hebdo, which is to mock religious figures, not Muslims or Jews or Christians, but religious figures and religions rather than individuals.
It's rather gentle. It says all is forgiven.
Indeed, and I think the interview that was conducted with the magazine's lawyer is very pertinent. He says we've never criticised a Jew because he's a Jew, a Muslim because he's a Muslim, or Christian because he's Christian. But you can say anything you like, and we do, about Christianity, Judaism and Islam.
Abdullah, where does the idea that showing an image of the Prophet is wrong come from? Because there are icons of the Prophet. You can go to Iran and you can see pictures of the Prophet Muhammad.
That's an opinion, a minority opinion amongst Shias, but that's not really the issue at hand. It's the play on stereotypes, especially of a minority which feels besieged in France, treated as second-class citizens. Their women denied the rights to wear what they want in public. They can't pray in public. In school, they can't wear the hijab. Charlie Hebdo, some of their cartoons were seen as playing upon stereotypes, negative stereotypes of Muslims. You're right, it doesn't attack individuals, but that's not the problem. It's attacking concepts and ideas. If a community defines itself by a way of life, a viewpoint, then that actually is the more defining of their characteristic than just the superficialities of race or maybe sexual proclivity, which in England and in France is protected against inciting hate.
Jodie Ginsberg, where are we on the debate about free speech, would you say, after this past week?
I think it's really crystallised the fact that, in fact, free speech has been for a very long time steadily eroded, certainly in Western democracies, and shine a spotlight both on its erosion here, but also the lack of free expression in many other countries around the world. I think what it has hopefully crystallised for people is the importance of defending free expression, the right to cause offence, because that's what enables all of us to be able to express our ideas and opinions, and that's what they are, ideas, views, opinions. We should be able to discuss those and express them openly.
I don't think you actually have the right to cause offence.
Yes, you do. You do. In free speech, you have the right to. I have the right to offend. You have the right to be offended.
Well, I don't believe in the right to insult. We should judge things by the intention, which is what the British law does. You do not have a right to insult with the Public Order Act, with incitement to racial hatred and hatred against people of certain sexual proclivities. Now, if you really want to campaign for free speech, you must start with repealing these laws.
But that relies entirely on intention.
I guess Abdullah is right that we are talking about the status of a particular group who, whether it's justified or not, because people acting supposedly in their name are carrying out acts of terrorism, nonetheless they do feel as though they are surrounded and are treated as dangerous. And that's one of the things which I suppose those who are responsible for the violence want to happen, that society divides.
I think there is a question here, an implicit question in all of this around access. So what do we do about the fact that many people feel, while organisations like Index on Censorship and others are defending the important and vital right of free expression, that others are denied that right simply by not having access? We don't always have other voices heard or represented in mainstream media. That has to be tackled as an access problem, not by denying the rights of other people free expression.
I think there's an inconsistency problem, though. Azhar Ahmed, who wrote on Facebook, all British soldiers should burn in hell, he was convicted under, I think, the Communications Act for sending something which is an offensive message. No one spoke out for his right to free expression. Why? It was probably because he's a Muslim, and it was actually public outrage. Also, someone burning a poppy, you could say that was free expression. No, there was outrage at that, and they were convicted. It seems to be two laws. One law for Muslims, which denies them their expression, and another law for other people who want to attack Islam, saying, oh, we support this expression, even though if it was done to any other group, whether it be based on race, gender, or sexual proclivity, they would be prohibited by law. And really what Muslims want is consistency, and that's really our desire.
I don't disagree with you in the sense that there is huge hypocrisy, and in fact this week we've seen a raft of people come out to say that they're in support of free expression, who I know have signed petitions calling for example, comedians to be banned for saying things that they find offensive, or for speakers to be banned from coming to the country, not because those speakers necessarily are going to incite racial hatred, simply because they have views that groups of people find offensive. So I would agree with you, there's massive inconsistency. It's one of those things that we need to tackle in the wake of Charlie Hebdo, is an honest and open discussion about what free expression means, and that includes understanding that the right to offend incorporates everybody, and therefore we should not be looking to shut down certain avenues of free speech simply because they're the ones we don't like.
Jodie Ginsberg from Index on Censorship and Abdullah al Andalusi from the Muslim Debate Initiative.